Hi, my name is Daphne, and today I was actually going to do a garden tour for the early part of June, but then I noticed I have seeds everywhere in this garden. My southern mustard seeds are actually starting to explode, and there's dropping seeds everywhere. I have calendula that's going to seed. I actually planted out some of my bolted purple bok choy into the garden, so next month I'll have seeds from those. So I thought it might be a good video just to show you guys how I collect some of my salad green seeds, and the calendula seeds as well, and how I process those. So if you guys are interested in seed saving, at least for the early part of spring or the late part of spring, then stay tuned and I'll show you how I do it. All right, so what you hear in the background is actually my little snooky butt playing in his pool. Easily distracted with his daddy. But I was actually going to shoot a gardening video today, but what I noticed is that my southern mustard seeds are actually turning really yellow, and they're actually, some of these have actually split open. So I don't know if you can see this, but let me see if I can find one. Here. It actually looks like this, and I thought something was eating at them, but I'm noticing that the seeds are actually fully developed. So let me see if I can actually show you guys some of the seeds. I actually did not expect for these to actually go to seed so soon. I actually thought I was going to have another couple of weeks. But what I've noticed is, look at this. Inside of these seed pods, let me see if I can find one. Just split it open here. Here it is. We have a ton of seeds inside of the seed pod here. So they're ready to go. So what I'm going to do is actually just take a brown paper bag. You want to write the name on it, and then literally I'm just going to sit and just split some of these seed pods open and just dump. Actually, I won't do that either. I'm not going to do that. Typically, what I did last year, and it actually worked really, really well, is I actually just cut the entire seed pod, like this entire thing off, and just literally let them dry in the brown paper bag. And in the fall, when you have nothing else to do, the garden is dead, you actually can just come and just rub these, and the seeds just pop out. I also find that it's a good way to protect the seed while it's drying. So some people actually do sit and actually just collect these individual seeds and dump them in the bag. But I just find that if you take the entire seed pod, they'll all dry together. And it is a much better way, quicker way of actually collecting these seeds. So let's cut some seed pods and dump them in a brown paper bag. All right, so we have our bag. And then what we do is just cut the entire row down. So, hi, honey. How you doing? Huh? You been drinking the water that was meant for the birds? Huh? You got water on the porch. It's clean. How you doing? Huh? You say hi? No. There you go. All right, so we're just gonna cut down the entire row here. And just so you guys can kind of see the seeds, let me see if I can find one. What I do in the winter is I just rub these together, but for demonstration purposes, because once they're dry, they get real crispy. But just so you guys know how they look, these seed pods actually were bright green. They're now really, really dull. And on both sides, here we go. On both sides, there are actually seeds in these. So you can literally just dump these in your hand. I actually don't want southern mustards growing in this bed, so I need to collect these seed pods before I have a bunch of new plants growing. Well, I'll just put that in the bag. But there they are. Seeds are incredibly tiny, so it's the reason why I didn't quite notice that they were actually done. You can actually use a Kroger bag as well, a larger brown paper bag, and I'm actually going to go in the house and get one. All right, this bag is better. So in theory, it's going to write the name of the plant and then the month and the year that you collected the items. Even though, like I said, I processed all of these within late fall, early winter. Well, technically that's not true. Last year I actually did these after December. So around January, February, when I was missing the garden, I just opened up all of the bags and just started processing the seeds. But so you'll just cut off some of the branches and just dump those in here. And I'll look for the seeds as well. And that's actually another reason why I actually don't split these pods open, because at some point you will like need to upgrade to a larger bag, and getting the smaller seeds out of here is a chore. So we'll just continue snipping. And then when the seed pods do actually burst open, they'll burst open into the brown paper bag. And I literally just tilt this open and just dump it into like a large wooden bowl, and that collects all of the smaller seeds. And I'll show you guys that process at a later date. All right. So each one of the individual seed pods have at least 20 to 30 seeds in it. I mean, easily, if you just split them open. It's probably way more than that. And I found that they do continue to mature while they're drying in the bag. So a lot of these that actually look quite small, they're actually fully developed by the time I get to them when they dry out. So I have more than enough seeds for next year. So, I mean, what you can do is you can kind of leave this because it is still producing smaller flowers, and the bees do like this plant. But I have a zinnia and some Rebecca planted right behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to cut this one down at the stem and just throw it in the waste pile, because we don't need any more southern mustard seeds. So, but yeah, if you ever want to save your mustard greens, your collard greens, your turnip greens, this is a really, really great way to do it. Just usually I have them under a covered location, but just dig them out, literally plop them in the soil, allow for them to flower, go to seed, and then just harvest the seeds, and you have all of the seeds you would need, your family would need, your friends would need for the next growing season. So it's a good deal. I also have some calendula that's going to seed as well, but we don't need to cut down the entire plant. We literally just need a paper bag. And while we're here, we can also take the flowers as well. The bees love them, but calendula has some incredible medicinal qualities, the flowers, and so you also want to harvest the flowers for those as well. So I'll take the flowers I see, and it also helps the plant to bush out. So we'll take the flowers, we'll take the seeds, put them in 2 separate bags, and then we will take this in the house and stick this in the grow room in a cool, which is a cool, dry place, and let them dry for a couple of months. So let's go and get that calendula. All right, so next on the list is actually our calendula, and just to show you some of the seeds. So here we are. These seeds have they are slowly drying out, but they're actually ready. So if you wanted to collect these now, you can. They won't pull off so easily. The ones that are completely dry actually just fall to the ground, but it's best to take them at this stage. I think there's even aphids at the back of this, excuse me. It's best to take it at this stage, cut the entire stem, and then what you would do is just drop the stem on the ground and just take the seed head. But if you take the entire stem, the plant actually bushes out. So we'll take this. We won't separate it out. And for demonstration purposes, I'm putting both the seeds and the flowers in this bag. But when I get back in the house, I will separate them out. For you guys, keep the seeds separate from the seed heads, because both of these, from the actual calendula heads, both of them you do want to dry. But when the seeds dry, they kind of break apart. You just don't want it to get so messy. So put those in the bag. All right, we have a huge calendula here. I'm actually going to take the seeds for. And as mentioned, the plant will actually bush out and be stronger for it. So let's see. Let's take this one here. Actually, this is a pretty good one. And as mentioned, they will dry in the brown paper bags. You don't have to worry about them being green. You just need to worry about whether or not the seeds are actually developed. Once the flower head drops off and they start to actually individually be more defined, they're ready. So just put that in the bag. Here's one that's actually starting to drop now. See these? And this is actually the process of what they will look like in the bag. And to mention, all of these calendula are actually from saved seeds from last year. So if you were to peel these open, you do have individual calendula here. I don't know if you can see that, but... And I just drop all of these in the bag. Alright, so we have collected a ton of seed heads as well as calendula flowers. And periodically, like once a week, I will come out and just take half the flowers and just collect all of the seeds. and just throw them in a random brown paper bag and then just date and label. Fold it up and just sit it in a cool, dry place and just forget about it. But I will show you some of the other seeds we will have coming up within the next few weeks that I will come out here and harvest. So let me show you that. All right, so we do have our bunching onions that are producing these beautiful flowers here that within a couple of weeks I do expect to have seeds for, and I will actually be collecting the seeds for these as I actually grew these from seed about 2 years ago. So look how healthy they are. Hi, honey. I know, honey.
So nasty.
And then we also have some bunching onions that I actually purchased from the grocery store that are actually starting to put on flower heads as well. These love these. So I also will be collecting some of the seeds for these. And our borage is actually starting to put on flowers as well. Aren't they beautiful? We do have a massive aphid problem here. The ants are farming these aphids, but I don't do anything about that because I know that it will attract the ladybugs. So we will have borage seeds soon. And what we actually do have right now are comfrey seeds, which I don't need any of. But the comfrey flowers, look how beautiful they are. And the bees just love them. And these were actually the first seeds to actually come up in the garden. And we actually do have, or we had some seeds. I think they've all dropped to the ground at this point. Let me see if I can find some that are, here they go. So, right in here, just like with borage, you will actually see the seed heads. The seeds are actually in these pods, and they just fall directly to the ground. So if I looked hard enough, I probably could find some seeds. I don't need any comfrey seeds, but I will actually take these heads and just save them. So let's just cut this off and just dump it in the bag. There we are. So I just cut off the entire seed pod, and they're individual seeds directly within the seed pod. I'm going to see if I can actually get them out. Let's see.
Bees aren't bad. Bees are okay. Bees don't bother you if you don't bother them.
Yeah, so here they are, individual seeds. And then if you put them somewhere to dry, they will actually finish drying out and you can collect them. So there are comfrey seeds here, and more of these will actually be collecting. I think this is another full seed pod here as well that have already dropped out. So we'll just put these in the bag. And since I know what comfrey seeds look like, I can separate them out when I get in the house and just get another bag. We also have some more seed pods here. Here we go. So we have some more here, so we'll take those as well. Bees have done an amazing job pollinating this plant. So thank you so much for following me on this journey on how I actually collect my seeds for next year. I kind of think that with the southern mustard greens, I will be using those seeds for the fall planting season when I actually start to grow my leafy greens for Thanksgiving dinner. So the southern mustards and the collard greens and the turnip greens, those are really fresh seeds. And so I won't be concerned at all about germination rates on those. So I will be using those, and the rest of those I will be putting up. I may actually donate a few to some of the local libraries that have seed collections, and maybe some friends or anyone like that actually wants some seeds. But for the most part, I actually will store those for the fall season. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll definitely be able to answer those. Or if you have any suggestions on how a better way to collect the smaller seeds from like the southern mustard greens and the collard greens, or a better way to store the seeds. I'm all for suggestions as well, and good tips from like expert gardeners, because I'm literally just a 4-year gardener, so I'm actually still learning the process as well. So on top of watching a lot of really great YouTube videos on seed saving and seed collecting, I also have a really great book that my friend gifted me, and I'll link the book here. It's called Seed to Seed, and it is a really great book. I'm not affiliated with the book, but I'm always an advocate, as mentioned, of like recommending great books for gardeners. This book tells you like everything about the plant and also how to collect the seeds and how to store the seeds. It's a really great book to have if you guys are also interested in saving your own seeds. And to be honest with you, I would highly recommend that you guys do get into the habit of saving seeds just because I have noticed, at least this year, a price increase across the board for all seeds, and I've also noticed a quality decrease in some of these seeds. So, for those two reasons alone, I really do think it's a really great idea to actually get into collecting your own seeds and saving your own seeds. And as mentioned, this book is actually a really great resource for beginner gardeners or even advanced gardeners to tell you exactly how to save your own seeds. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day. Peace.